the Dark Souls 2 plus DLC boss tier list. Yes, sir. Not based on gameplay or anything, but just design wise, Nashandra might be my favorite. I know most people wouldn't agree, though. I know a lot of people think Nashandra's like an awful last boss, and like she's like really easy. She kind of is, though. She kind of is. But I think she's kind of intentionally easy as like a narrative device because she used all her cunning. She basically used like Vendrick to like self-sabotage and everything. Turns out she's not actually much of a fighter. The DLC bosses, definitely. Alright, Alva. You know, I would say Alva's. Okay, we'll start off with Alva. Alva's an A. Easy A. Aldia. Well, we just do the DLC bosses because those are all pretty easy. Suralon, yeah, Suralon, in terms of actual boss fights, S. Um, Sin, the Slumbering Dragon, definitely S. That's, like, honestly, probably the best dragon fight in the trilogy. Maybe Midir is kind of better in Dark Souls 3. Burnt Ivory King, definitely S. That's a very cool boss fight. You have to get up, you know, you have how you have to get out of the knights. Very cool, very cool. That's a cool fight. Elena the Squalid Queen, definitely S tier. That's like actually one of the best duo fights that these games ever made, like next to Ornstein and Smo. Like the whole mage melee duo fight. They don't ever really do that again anymore. It's just duo melee. You know, but like Elena's like the range attack and then like she summons Velstad or maybe the skeletons. It's pretty cool. It's definitely one of the better duo fights. Um, the Gang Squad. Okay, you know what? I would say actually the Gang Squad's in C. Some people would put the Gang Squad in like F tier because they hate PvP. I like the PvP in these games, but they fucking cheat. They literally the NPCs in this game when you like the NPC literally cheat. Like I've seen videos of that one NPC in front of the Executioner Chariot. He literally cheats. He does stuff with the greatsword. He has the greatsword and the shield. He literally does moves that you can't do yourself. You know, like the NPCs in this game too. They literally cheat. They literally do stuff that you yourself, the player, cannot do. So that's why they're C tier. I probably put them like in B. You know, it's very novel for having a like an NPCs as the boss fight. But the Gang Squad literally cheat. All the NPCs in Dark Souls 2 cheat. A lot of them just do stuff that you yourself cannot do. They like do attacks with the animation canceling. Like they got insane tech. What about the other DLC bosses? Ludenzellen, the King's Pass. That's just like C. That's just a duo. That's literally Alva, but two. Velstadt. Oh yeah, Velstadt. I would definitely give him a. He's definitely an A. Fume Knight S tier, easy S tier. Fume Knight, definitely the best boss of that DLC. Blue Smelter Demon, again, it's just Smelter Demon, but blue. No, that's really it. Look, go figure. All the optional bosses of the DLC are all in C. Go figure. The Gang Squad because they cheat. Luden Zelen because it's just an Alva reskin. And Blue Smelter Demon because it's another reskin. I'm sensing a pattern. Alright, so that's all the DLC bosses, right? And Velstadt. Velstadt's just chilling in the corner. The homie just chilling. Looking Glass. Yeah, you know, a lot of people say Looking Glass Knight is the best boss fight in the base game. I'd probably put him in S tier too, because you know why? You can also do invasions as Velstadt, which is very dope. You know, I got YouTube videos. Check out my YouTube videos. Here. I literally have a video of me invading as the Looking Glass Knight on PlayStation. But yeah, that's me invading. So that's a really cool concept. And I don't really think they did that except for like in Dark Souls 3 where you literally the boss is the NPC like or like the player is the boss, which is just a retread of the old monk fight from Demon Souls. The Looking Glass Knight is like its own boss fight, and then you can summon in a whole nother player to help, which is really cool. You got this new Minecraft badge, Cammy. He's a miner. He's got the plat pickaxe. That's wild. That's crazy. Um. So what else? We've got so now we got the actual bad bosses to get through, and so let me tell you, Dark Souls 2 has a lot of bad bosses. All right, so Aldia. People say Aldia is like the one of the worst bosses. He's like D tier, C tier. You know, it's tough. You know, why is there an E? Can I just get rid of the E? Okay. There's no point in it. E tier. I mean, is Aldia really the same as like Blue Smelter Deem and Lud and Zelen in the Gang Squad? Aldia is barely a boss. I mean, yeah, it kind of is. Like his whole gimmick is that he has fire, so you have to wait, and then you attack him. Then you have to dodge his stuff. You know, it's kind of meh. It's kind of meh. It's very meh. You know, I'm putting him in D. He's not awful. He has an interesting gimmick. Royal Rat. Oh yeah, Royal Rat Authority definitely F tier. 100% F tier. Um, so let's just keep going down the list. Or oh yeah, Royal Rat Vanguard. I put C. You know it's kind of cheap just putting a bunch of enemy rat spawn. The dark. This is like people joke about how like the quintessential Dark Souls 2 boss is just a bunch of enemies in a room and call it a boss. But Royal Rackard has like one of the best songs in the game. For some reason, they made one of the best songs, like top 3 boss songs in the game, goes to Royal Rat Vanguard. And you know what? It's kind of cool. You know what? It's like it's a bunch of rats. The music's going, And you know, you gotta find the real one. I've seen a lot of people die to the Royal Rat Vanguard because of the petrification. So it's not even a pushover either. You know, it's a real valid boss. You know, they tried with the Royal Rat Vanguard. You know, definitely C tier. It's not bad. It's passable. Ancient Dragon. Oh my god, man. Easy F. Easy F tier. We'll just go through the normal. Easy F tier. Ancient Dragon. Oh my god, easy F tier. I mean, what else can be more said about Ancient Dragon? It's terrible flame hitbox. It's shockwave stomp that can insta kill you. The fact that basically it has way too much health, or that like the only way to really fight it is that you just have to fight its toes. Just hit its toes for like 8 hours. Right, definitely, probably worse. But the best thing I could say about Ancient Dragon is that it's optional. Next up is Belfry Gargoyles. Probably like a D. Next up is Belfry. Maybe a C. You know, it's literally just the gargoyle fight from the first game, but instead of 2, there's 6. You know, oh, Dark Souls 2, we gotta double everything. We gotta double everything. Put in 4 gargoyles, and then Yui Tanimura was in the back, and it's like, no, don't put 4 gargoyles. Put 6. They won't expect 6 gargoyles. And everybody in the room was just like, oh, 6 gargoyles. The music is good. I mean, the music is also literally from the first game. It's literally the same song from the first game. So, like, if there was ever like a boss fight that was just like, hey, remember the first game, guys? It was definitely Belfry Gargoyles. Covetous Demon F. Maybe D. It's not egregious. It doesn't piss me off. He's just kind of there, you know. Covetous Demon, like, he's just there, which is so funny because the third DLC literally makes him just like a mini boss, like a regular enemy. Which I saw a comment, somebody on a YouTube channel said like the Covetous Demon should have just been like a regular enemy, and like the game should have like subverted your expectation by going into a fog wall, and instead of a boss, it's just a big enemy. It's just Covetous Demon, but he doesn't have a health bar, and you can just leave. You can just literally go right past them. Dark Lurker, S, definitely probably like the best. I would say probably best optional boss in the game, in the base game as. Demon of Song, he's like C, B. I can see why they never brought back the Demon of Song gimmick. The whole you gotta like just fight and then avoid him, but like he hits hard. Like Covetous Demon never frustrates me because the skeleton lords can, because you just, and he can take your equipment. That is cool. So you know that's what makes him not an F. The fact that he can take your equipment, but like he's just like he's so weak. Although like technically, which is crazy, he could be like the he could be the third boss in the game that you fight. You know, Covetous Demon could technically be the third. That's why Dark Souls 2 is so good. Like, there's so many of these bosses that could be like your first boss. And Covetous Demon could be like the third boss in the game technically that you fight. He's really easy though. he does have the cool gimmick that he can take off your armor, but like, Demon of Song, C. Dragon Rider, you know, for a tutorial boss, for what possibly may be the first boss in the game for you, C. You know, Dragon Rider could be the first boss in the game. He was the first boss in the game for me when I played my very first game. Dragon Rider was the first boss I fought, and that's alright, you know. He's alright, you know. He's C. I mean, do I really want to say he's in the same tier as like Blue Smelter Demon, Royal Rat Vanguard, and Demon of Song? He's okay. The Pursuer, yeah, I would give Pursuer like a B. The boss fight itself is definitely B tier. He's all right. You know, he has a lot of cool things. It's cool that you can find him early. It's cool that you can use the the ballistas and hit your co-op partner. You know, very cool that you can literally hit your co-op partner when fighting the Pursuer. But otherwise, yeah, he's pretty fine. He's fair. You can just circle strafe him a lot, but he's cool. You can fight him a lot. B tier. Executioner Chariot, I gotta say, that's kind of a B tier boss for me. I kind of like, on the one hand, the actual Executioner Chariot's kind of ass. Like, he's really easy. But the environment and the arena is kind of cool. So, I think that's kind of what bumps it up. But the actual boss fight's very mid. Flexile Sentry, C. He's alright. He's just kind of there. You find him again a bunch. The Water Rises, that's cool. He has a cool song, which is very just chill. Well, I shouldn't say chill, but it's like very minimum. His boss fight music for Flexile Sentry is just kind of like, like, you know, like I think somebody described it once in a stream as like a sting or something. I forget. It's a puzzle boss because basically, oh yeah, Execution Chariot. It's a puzzle boss basically, and the run to is sort of the pain, but not that bad. Yeah, you know, it's kind of like a gimmick boss, I would say, but it's not a bad gimmick. I kind of like it. Is it really better than the Gang Squad? Yes. Is it better than Royal Rag Vanguard? You know what? I gotta give Royal Rackard B. Honestly, I kind of fuck with Royal Rat Vanguard a lot. That's a cool boss. It's probably like the only time they ever did the enemy spam actually alright. Because it's a bunch of rats that can hurt you a lot. I kind of like it. Giant Lord, oh my god. I don't know. C. He's easy as hell. Honestly, a lot of the mandatory bosses in this game are pretty fucking easy. Like, it's crazy that your Giant Lord could be like the second to last boss in the game. And you just beat him. He's easy. He's literally just the last giant again. So where's the last giant? The last giant, C tier. You know, they're one in the same, really. They're really, I mean, what would you say, Cammy? Or is the Giant Lord and Last Giant, they're just C tier bosses. They're just circle strafe, you know, avoid the giant leg. Don't get stomped. Don't get hit by the Giant Lord's leg or sword, and don't get hit by the Last Giant's arm. Very Just in the middle, right? Guardian Dragon's alright. I say B. Guardian Dragon actually has a lot of cool stuff. It's funny that this picture is of the dragon that's in Hyde's Tower of Flame. and not the actual guardian dragon that you find in Aldia's Keep. I would say probably the guardian dragon is like the second to last mandatory boss that you have to fight that's actually like challenging. We're gonna see Vendrick for later. Lost Center, A. The Lost Center is definitely an A fight. Kind of a underwhelming presentation. Song's okay, but the actual fight is definitely solid. Like actually solid boss fight. Mithra, I say A. She's cool. You know, I think a lot of people who I've seen people never beat getting rid of the poison in her boss arena, and they have to just fight her while she keeps constantly healing. I bet that pissed off a lot of people. Like, you imagine just fighting Mithra the whole time without burning the poison windmill, and like just having to fight through the poison, fight through the region that she heals. She's alright. You know, she's good. She's good. She does a lot of cool stuff. She has a lot of cool moves. She's got a cool attack where she holds her. She's literally holding her head. It's a very cool boss. The first time you did that. Yeah, I understand. Old Dragon Slayer, definitely A. He's kind of easy. You know, Old Dragon Slayer is basically proof that you need Ornstein to help him. Jester Thomas helps. Yeah, Jester Thomas can like solo. Jester Thomas can definitely solo. Um, Crazy that Jester Thomas will literally help you, and then in the DLC he'll invade you. You know, he's the real Joker of the Dark Souls series. The real Joker. It's crazy. He attacks, he protects. Yeah. Yeah, he does, but it's actually dark, which is interesting. What's the lore implications of that? He does the booty slam that Smo does, but instead of electric, it's dark. What does that mean? Who is Old Dragon Slayer? Is he just a dude? Is he the real Ornstein? Who knows? Who knows? Old Iron King. See, I gotta say, he's kind of underwhelming. He's really badass looking, but he's just kind of like, eh. Ornstein, he's Ornstein legit. Some people do think that. Some people think Old Dragon Slayer is like the real Ornstein. That like the Dark Souls 1 Ornstein was just an illusion. And this is the real Ornstein. Who knows though? Ruin Sentinels B, maybe even A. I would say honestly, Ruin Sentinels is the skill check of Dark Souls 2. You know, I think it's like one of the few gimmick it's like one of the few trio bosses in these games. And you know, true, it's literally just like the enemy gets repeated, but it has a pretty cool area where you can literally just fight them all one by one. The Rune Sentinel is just one by one, which is actually a pretty cool implementation of the boss arena. Scorpion Nachka B. She's alright. She's cool. She's like a discount Quaalag. I saw this cool video of a way to like cheese Scorpion Nachka. And like you, basically what you do is you wait for her to go underground, and if you time it right, you're able to get on top of her and she can't do anything. Like you get literally on top of like the backside of Scorpion Nachka, and she's just like she can't do anything, or you just attack her. Like she can't sting you or anything. It's pretty funny. I gotta find like a video. Scorpion Nachka. Is this it? Yeah, this is it. This is so silly. I've never done this, but I saw this like the other day. It was actually pretty legit. Oh, can I just full screen? Is that better? I just should have just full screen the whole time. Y'all would not see my tabs. See me listening to that Silent Hill music. Is maybe yeah. Okay, so what else we got? Skeleton Lords. Enemy spam done wrong. It's got a good track though. So like B. A very gracious B. Very, very generous B. Smelter Demon A. Very cool fight. Great song. It's the same as the Rune Sentinel song. Duke's Dear Freya. C. It's okay. It's kind of a bad gimmick. I'm not a big fan of like you have to attack one point. This is like the same thing as Demon Song, you know, you can only attack a certain point. Demon Song you gotta wait. Duke's Dear Freya you gotta like move around. Spire below Skeleton Lords. Yeah, you know, I'm probably gonna have to put Skeleton Lords more like a C. Skeleton Lords are like okay. They're like, it's because the bone wheels, they're the bone wheels from Dark Souls 1, or rather they're not the bone wheels from Dark Souls 1, you know. Those bone wheels from Dark Souls 1 are actually like scary as hell. They will fuck your day up. Big fan of the spider fight. And like, you know, you haven't played the Scholar version yet, Cammy. So like in the Scholar version, you're able to use a torch to scare the little spiders away. They didn't have that in the vanilla version, which is a shame because they literally have the program like the dark lurkers in No Man's Worth to get afraid from the torch. But for some reason they forgot to do that for um, vanilla. So I would say like the Duke's Dear Freya is definitely like I would say the weakest Great Soul boss. Wait, where the mandatory boss? Oh, well, not the mandatory, but like the Great Soul. Lost Sinner. Lost Sinner is definitely like the best one. Old Iron King's in. Oh, we didn't get to the run. Okay, so speaking of which, the run. See, he's kind of just easy. You know, maybe I've fought him too much, but you know, he's just so easy. He is so easy. There's a reason why. Um, you know, there is a reason why. People speedrun farm him. You know, this is the speedrunners literally just fight him the whole time. Yeah, the rod design is pretty cool. Um, it's all right. You know, it's cool. You know, it's not the worst thing. But like, if I had to put like maybe a tier list of the four great souls in this game, I would say number one is the Lost Sinner. The Lost Sinner is definitely the best great soul. Number two is probably Old Iron King. Number three is the Rotten, and definitely last place is the Duke's through Freya. Throne Watcher and Throne Defender, I gotta say they're kind of an A. They're like probably the weakest A. You'd probably say S. Yeah, they're good. You know, people say they're discount Ornstein and Smo, but they're pretty solid fight. They're tough. They're the real final boss of the game. You know, Throne Watcher and Throne Defender are definitely. They have a cool song too. Throne Watcher does backflips. You know, she serve. She be doing backflips and shit. You know, they don't really complement each other like Ornstein and Smo. You know, one's fast, one's slow, or Elena, the Squalid Queen, when she summons all her melee fighters and she does mages. They do healing. That is cool. I like the healing shit. Yeah, very cool. People hate this boss apparently. Some people say this is like the most annoying boss ever. Really tough. I think it's just actually a tough boss. And low-key the real challenge of the game, the real final boss, is Throne Watcher and Throne Defender. You know, in a way. Definitely easy A tier for me. Twin Dragon Riders. Okay, Twin Dragon Riders. I just D. Gotta say. Just the Dragon Rider, but easy. Because at the point of getting into the castle, you're really leveled up. You know. Like, it's really easy. The Dragon Rider itself is a pretty easy boss fight. But two that are also just easy. There should have been 3 Dragon Riders. A summon tier list. Oh, I have a Dark Souls 1 summon tier list. And there's another one with like all the summons, but like I don't know the Dark Souls 3 summons that well. I know all of 1 and 2 ones. But yeah, we can probably do that later. But yeah, Twin Dragon Riders. Just, you know, they're easy. Easy for where you get. It should have been twin. It should have been quadruple or like three. Or you know what? It should have been like a Dragon Rider and like another enemy. Or, you know, it should have just been a real original enemy. But Twin Dragon Riders is so mid. Okay, Nashandra and King Vendrick, the most hotly debated ones. Nashandra, she's definitely getting, I'd say a B. She's pretty easy. She's not actually challenging at all. She has cool lore. She has a decent gimmick that you can just counter with the DLC weapon. Or with the DLC mask. So that's kind of cool. She's annoying that you got Pop Humanity. But she's not actually challenging. And I guess it kind of relates back to the fact that, you know, she was like a manipulator. She manipulated Vendrick and everything. She was not an actual fighter. You know, maybe like C. She being like C. So then last Vendrick, King Vendrick, the Mac Daddy of them all. We have Gwyn at home. King Vendrick, seek strength. You know, the Seeker of Fire, the guy with the same voice actor as Oswald of Kareem from Dark Souls 1. King Vendrick. This is definitely the one of the easier placements, I gotta say. You know, there's definitely been some questionable, like, oh, where do, you know, where does Nashandra go? Where's Royal Vanguard go? Dragon Rider, you know. You have to think, like, Dragon Rider could be the first boss. You know, he's alright. He's alright. And the last giant, you know, left possible first boss, he's alright. Gang Squad would have been higher, but they cheat. The NPCs literally cheat in this game. Big problem. King Vendrick, he's more of an easier pick for me. King Vendrick, F tier. He is so boring. He's like the Pursuer, but worse. He's like the Last Giant, but worse. The Giant Lord, but worse. His whole gimmick is that he can't attack you, and if you get hit by him, you're probably gonna die unless you have a lot of health. And you also need to get all the giant souls. But, you know, you can beat him anyway without him because his attacks are so easy to miss, or to dodge. Just circle strafe, and he hits. Bam, miss. Circle strafe, attack. Circle strafe, attack. Oh, he's so easy. He's so boring. He's so tanky. You know, he does nothing. He's the Gwyn at home. He's the discount version of Gwyn. Gwyn actually had a move that was challenging in the first game. But Vendrick... No, Vendrick's just kind of, you know, kind of lame. Which is funny, because, like, if you fight him... I think about it, like... The very first time you could fight Vendrick, you might only have one giant soul. You know? And as you know, the less giant souls you have, the less damage you're gonna do. But he's just boring, you know? He's just boring, man, you know? He doesn't do anything interesting. He just kind of, like, you know, wanders around, and, you know, he has a cool song, not gonna lie, he has a cool song. But He's like unironically the most boring boss in the game. I beat him once with like an ice rapier and like two giant souls, or was it three? And I just had to attack him. I must have fought him for like 6 minutes, and it was just the same like swerve, dodge, swerve. You know, he's really easy, but he's really tanky without the souls. And like I said, Gwen at least made him challenging. Gwen had it challenging. Gwen had like the fastest sword swinging in the game. He's like an old knight at Hyde's Tower, basically. You know the knights in Hyde's Tower of Flame. Vendrick is basically that, and he's basically just true King Elan. You know, there are harder bosses. There are more infuriating bosses like the Royal Rat Authority or Ancient Dragon, who are just like, oh my god, those bosses actually are like not fun to play with and not great. There's really no, you don't even consider him a boss because there's no point in fighting him really. And I never thought the first time I played. Right, exactly, like there really is no point. You get an achievement and you get his like soul in Shrine of Amana and his set, so that's kind of cool. But like, yeah, there are more annoying bosses. There are harder bosses. There's even easier bosses like Corvidus Demon. They're like a joke. But he's like F because he's just boring. You just circle straight between his like slashes and his vertical slice. He's just really tanky. Kind of boring. Has like the same sweeping 3-hit combo. Definitely like just F tier. F tier boss. F tier boss.